In this episode of the Musings of an Ikigai Scholar, we will start discussing journey to find Ikigai. What exactly is a journey? When you hear about a journey to find your Ikigai, what kind of journey comes to mind for you? Perhaps it's an overseas trip, a cruise on a luxury ship, or wandering with a backpack wherever your heart leads you. Everyone has different ideas in mind. Lately, we hear expressions like over tourism and tourist pollution. These refer to situations where a tourist destination receives more visitors than it can handle, leading to infrastructure issues such as traffic congestion, insufficient toilets, and waste management problems, which in turn cause conflicts with local residents. According to Japan National Tourism Organization, JNTO, the number of inbound visitors from overseas will continue to increase. As of January 2024, the number has returned to pre pandemic levels and has continued to rise, with over 3 million visitors in April. Conversely, due to the weak yen, the number of Japan residents traveling abroad has decreased. In April, the number of overseas travelers was about 890,000, roughly half of the pre pandemic level. This data tells us that the factors contributing to Japan's over tourism include not only the increase in inbound visitors, but also the decrease in outbound travelers. Whether you already have travel plans or are planning a trip in the future, I recommend taking a moment to carefully consider why you are traveling. If your purpose in life is to navigate through crowds to capture photos of famous paintings, buildings, or scenery, that's fine, but it isn't necessarily the case for everyone. What do you seek in a journey? Is it sharing cultural experiences with family and close friends? Or is it meeting new people and experiencing new cultures on a solo trip? Either way, the challenges and joys you encounter through journey should enrich your life. However, due to how the trip is planned or uncontrollable factors like the weather, the journey might end up being super stressful. In any trip, it is important to minimize unnecessary stress. My mindset for planning a less stressful journey. For those purchasing package tours, the itinerary is often planned out in detail, so I recommend reviewing it as early as possible. Check the modes of transportation. If there are delays due to bad weather, will your tour company handle it properly? It's important to contact the tour company with these questions before the trip starts. I also recommend reading the cancellation policies. Check both the policies for if you cancel and if the tour company cancels. Having the option to postpone the trip or cancel with minimal cost at the last minute can help reduce your stress. Package tours are great, but there are also people like me who prefer to plan their own itineraries. Here are a few things I prioritize when planning a journey. Flight transfer times and schedules. This is something that seasoned international travelers are already aware of. But just in case, let me share this advice. When transferring from an international flight to a domestic flight or another international flight, it's important to consider the layover time. I estimate a minimum of 3 hours for transfers. This allows for catching the next flight even if there is a delay of 1.5 hours. It also provides enough time to go through immigration checks. Additionally, I always check the departure time of the next flight in advance. This is to ensure that if I miss the connecting flight, there are still flights available to my final destination on the same day. If there aren't, I'll either have to pay for another airline's flight or be stuck at the layover location. While handling such situation can be a tremendous learning experience, when heading to a friend's wedding or an important event, you definitely want to arrive on time no matter what. At Tokyo Station, aim for the unreserved seats on the Shinkansen. This is a tip I often share with those coming to Japan. When boarding the Shinkansen from Tokyo Station, it's often more effective to utilize unreserved seats. Rather than insisting on purchasing reserved seats, consider buying an unreserved seat ticket in advance and lining up near the unreserved seating area. By doing this, there's no need to strictly adhere to departure times. And if you have large suitcases, there's higher chance of finding spaces near the back of the unreserved seating car, where you can quickly store your luggage. While this may be less effective during major holidays, it can still reduce stress for some individuals. If you prefer the option of securing your seat in advance, please continue to purchase tickets for the reserved seats. Respect locals' opinions when choosing transportation. Japan's public transportation system is highly efficient, ensuring safety and timeliness wherever you go. However, this may not be the case once you step out of the country. When traveling abroad, it's advisable to seek the advice of local residents when deciding on transportation options. Particularly if you arrive late at night, you should inquire whether trains are still running. If you are traveling alone, consider the risk of late night travel. While there may be various options such as subways, buses, taxis, and Uber, when visiting a new place for the first time, it's best to consult friends who have been there or acquaintances living locally as much as possible. Additionally, getting detailed information about payment methods can further reduce your stress. Journey is not just about going on trips. So far, we've been discussing domestic and international travel, but journey doesn't always require going far away. Some people may want to travel, but are unable to for various reasons. What exactly is a journey anyway? For me, a journey provides an opportunity to gain new perspectives. Therefore, even if you are at home, if you can still have new discoveries and experiences, it's just like traveling. In the next installment of our series on Journey to Find Ikigai, we'll talk about traveling at home. That concludes this episode of the Musings of an Ikigai Scholar. Thank you for staying with me until the end.